Well, as I've mentioned before, I am from Guatemala. I was born in Guatemala. For us to know where Guatemala is, it's a country that is right after Mexico. It's next to El Salvador, Honduras, Belize, and then the two oceans. Now, Guatemala, for us to remember a little bit, we have heard of this country. Guatemala is known for Mayans. We have the ruins in Tikal. That's the name of the city, Tikal. Mayans are is the group that created the zero. Mayans is also the group that created an idea of basketball. Here we see their main place, their capital type of thing. But next to the other ruins, we have some ruins. They have what they used to do, they used to call the ball game. It's kind of like a basketball, but the ring is sideways and the ball was made out of stones and they had to hit it with their hips, and it was an honor to win such game that they will sacrifice the winner for the gods, and that was an honor for the family. And you just had to put the ball through the to the ring once and then you will win the game. So that was a game that they had. But in Guatemala, we are known for cities like Antigua. You guys can see here a picture of Antigua. You look at the street. See how nice that is? It's very colonial. There's places in Guatemala that are very, very colonial. In this city, Antigua, Guatemala, you can even speak English. You don't have to speak Spanish at all. Guatemala is a Spanish-speaking country, but in Antigua you can find a lot of English-speaking people. Like I said, very, very colonial, very touristic. This bridge, if you guys Google Guatemala, more than likely this bridge will come up. But I was born in a city called Quetzaltenango. So let me show you guys the downtown Quetzaltenango. Again, very colonial. Downtown Quetzaltenango, I always said everything looks nice, even McDonald's, because you guys can even see here. Look, there's a McDonald's right there at that corner, and that's a nice building. Like I said, very, very colonial. This is downtown. Like I said, downtown Quetzaltenango. Now, in Quetzaltenango, McDonald's is expensive. I consider McDonald's expensive because over there they pay the same prices we pay here in the US. If if there's something here in the US costs $10 in McDonald's, we go here and pay $10 for something in McDonald's here. In Quetzaltenango, they also pay $10. At the moment, it's almost 8 quetzales. The money from Guatemala is called quetzales. It's almost 8 quetzales make $1. So something that costs here $10, it will cost there almost 80 quetzales. Now, the interesting part is that from this McDonald's, you walk, I'm gonna say about 2, 3 blocks, you get to the market, and you can have a meal for a whole meal. I'm just talking about whole meal, probably for good 30 quetzales. So going to McDonald's is pretty expensive in my point of view. But I'm not here just to show you guys Guatemala. I wanted to show you guys Guatemala. It's a country like every other country. It has nice places, but the reason why I decided to take a trip to Guatemala is because I was having a conversation with a friend, and we were watching some videos on YouTube about being poor. I grew up poor here in Bakersfield. I did not grow up with a lot of money. I grew up in the poor areas of Bakersfield. However, being poor in the U.S. is different than being poor in other countries. So we were talking, like I said, with a friend, and he mentioned poverty, and I was like, what can I do? What can I do to help out? So I went to Guatemala. The school year over there is different than ours. Here we go from August to about May. Over there, they go from the middle of January to about October. So mid end of October. So when we are in summer, like when we're off from school, they are in the middle of the school year. So I decided to go over and help out. On one of our summers, I decided to go. Like I said, I showed you guys Guatemala, but I went over and I said, take me to a poor place. I want to go help out, not in the city, but in people that live in mountains, people that live less with less money than people that live in the city. So they decided to take me. I came and I found people to help me out, and they decided to take me to Santa Lucia La Reforma. That's the name of the place where I went. Santa Lucia La Reforma. When I get there, this is what I see. I was like, oh wow. Actually, it was something that we don't have here in Bakersfield that I experienced there, which is called clean air. Oh, and I could see far. I know here this picture doesn't help out that much, but I could see far, far from here. And like I said, it was clean air. The interesting part, though, is that here we don't have much clean air because we are a city here in Bakersfield. We have a lot of cars, we have a lot of people. Now, in order for us to have clean air, we had to remove houses, we had to remove people, we had to remove cars. So the houses that you can see that I was running into are like this one right here. These are made of adobe, which we call the adobe, which is like dirt just put together. And I showed up to this place right here, and I was like, "Oh, Lucia La Reforma doesn't look that bad." Now, little did I know that I showed up on market day. Yeah, there is one day when people show up from out of town. So this right here, I had no idea. This is very, very crowded. It was very, very packed. This is what crowded means in Santa Lucia La Reforma. That day, people, like I said, showed up with, things from out of town because they show up to sell the one day, and then the day of the week, and then they go away, and then they come back next week. So if you want to buy vegetables, you want to buy clothes, you want to buy anything, that's the day when you buy something. Otherwise, you're not going to have access to it until a week later. So, like I said, that's why they call it market day. And I came and I was like, oh, interesting. I was at the park. I was looking around, but then I asked for help, and then at the school, and then the school came and they took me to a place where I was going to spend the night. I told them I don't need luxuries. Like I said, I grew up poor here in Bakersfield, so I'm used to being poor. So I'm used to not luxuries. And I asked them, all I need is a roof and a place to stay. I don't need to eat 3 times a day. Two is enough. Like I said, anything, as long as I'm covered, as long as I have a roof on top of me and somewhere to sleep on, I'm fine. And they literally took me to a house. I didn't take a picture of it, but they literally took me to a house where the room was dirt, that the floor was dirt, and that's all I had, just a roof over me. So I came and literally dug a hole. I dug a hole on the floor, and that's where I spent the night. The next morning, I guess they were testing, whether I was gonna last or not. The next morning, I get up and then I greeted everybody. I was like, "Good morning." And in my mind, I'm all like, no matter what I see, I better be respectful because they're giving me all they have. Okay, so that's what I had in my mind. I better be respectful. And then I showed up, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to use the restroom?" And I'm all like, "Sure, sure, I want to use the restroom." And so let me show you guys a picture. Let me close your eyes if you get disgusted easily. This is where I went. Now, the smell of this, I wish I could I could, transfer through the video the smell of this. It was not the best. And actually, right there, I'm very, very close to the wall on the other side. That's where they showered. When they went to the bathroom. That's where they did everything. And I came and I just went in really quick. And when I came out, they asked me, "Would you like to shower?" Again, if I wanted to shower, I would have to shower here. And my mind was like, oh man, what do I say without being disrespectful? So I came and I told him, I wanted to shower. I slept in dirt the night before. So I did want to shower. I felt disgusting, but I told him, oh, I don't shower every day. And I showered yesterday. So they're like, okay, cool. They gave me breakfast. It was a good breakfast actually. It was like freshly made tortillas with eggs. I liked it. But I was like, okay, I gotta find a place where to move. So I went to the school and I decided to show up. And then this is the school. I got ready to work. When I got there, I was like, there's something that I really, really appreciated. And let me zoom in. It's this right here. You guys can see this container on top. That's water. This door right here, you guys can see I'm pointing at it. This door, that's a shower. So I found a place where to shower. And then in this other room here, do you guys see this blue thing? That's where I will wash my clothes. So I will wash my clothes there. And like I said, I will shower. And there was interesting that I saw something that I was not used to here in the US. When the school ended, the last bell rang, people actually left school. Like I said, it's interesting because here in the US, sometimes people complain, I don't want to go to school. But as soon as school ends, people don't leave. But over there they did. So I would just go to work. I will go in the morning. I will be teaching. When school ended, everybody would leave, and then I will go and shower. And that was the routine. The only thing is that this door didn't quite lock. So I walked around because you guys can see you could find things on the floor. So I found a little stick and that became my lock. I was showered because I will wash my clothes and then I will go to my place. I moved to a different place. Like I said, where I spent the night, the first night, it was just that one night. I moved to a different place. I made some friends. And but this was the school where I was teaching. This was actually the high school. And not only I was teaching the high school, but I was teaching in the elementary school as well. I was going around, and a friend of mine that will go over to places around. We will go and help them with food. So we will take seeds and we will plant food, like vegetables. So I was going around and I was helping him plant vegetables. We are going out there digging holes, helping the community. Then walking around, this is what I saw. I was like, oh, interesting. They do have a soccer field. I used to coach soccer. I used to coach soccer for Golden Valley High School. And I used to complain that our field was bad. Ah, there are holes. I would go to other schools and be like, oh yeah, this fields are not that good either. I'm not talking about any of the schools, but I remember I went to South a lot. I went to Foothill. I could find any high school something to complain about. There's something to complain about. If we want to complain, we find something to complain about. But once I saw these fields, I was like, oh, I guess we have it very nice. I should not complain anymore. You guys can see there's plantations over here at the side. I believe this is corn. So, oh, and then here's the date when I took this picture. In 2013, that's when I went. So I was like, oh, interesting. They just find anything they can play with. And this is the school. The guy on the left, this guy that you guys see on the left, he was the principal. And this guys right here, these are the teachers from the elementary school. Now, I remember in high school when I was teaching here, I used to complain that our seats were uncomfortable. Now, those seats right there are more uncomfortable. They're hard. But these people introduced me. This guy, I came in, I asked them, can I take a picture? Any picture that I took, I always asked permission before I took the picture. So I came over and they took me, they canceled classes that day because they were gonna take me to teach the teachers how to teach. Remember, I said I was teaching high school, I was teaching elementary, I was teaching all the teachers how to teach as well. And then this was, like I said, at the elementary school. Now, one thing that I saw was this right here. I was like, wow, interesting. They are learning three languages. For example, here, you guys can see it says dedos, which is in Spanish, dedos. Here at the bottom, you guys can see toes. And wilak akanach. That's basically in their language. Here, foot, or pie in Spanish, foot in English, akanach. Right there. So you guys can see they're learning three languages, part of their body, their face. So I was very interesting that they came and I was like, wow, we hardly ever speak English here. And I say hardly ever because I've seen the way some people spell, I've seen how people write or how people pronounce words. I'm like, here we struggle with one language, and over there they're dealing with three. Interesting though that every day I will walk to the school, and there were two ladies. Ay, ay, ay. Two old ladies that make fun of me all the time. Because when I will pass by, they will greet me. Different greeting every day though. And it was something like, good morning, have a good day, nice to see you. Like different greetings like that. However, they were in their language, their native language, which is Maya Quiche, which is the language that I don't speak. From the three languages that we see here in the pictures here, I speak Spanish, I speak English, but I do not speak, or I do not understand Maya Quiche. And then they will greet me, and then I would be like, and then they would laugh. They would laugh at me. These ladies were making fun of me because they would greet me and they would laugh, and I would just come over because they knew I always had a paper and pencil, and I would be like, "Oh, what did you just call me?" And then they would tell me the phrase. I would write it down, and then I was like, "Can you translate it to Spanish?" Then they would translate it, and then I did not trust them though. I will write it down, but then I will go to the school and ask a random kid, "Hey, how do you say this and that?" And whatever they told me that they did, and yeah, the ladies were telling me the correct translation. However, because I would not understand, they would laugh at me. Like I said, these are old ladies, old wrinkled gray haired, like old ladies. But little by little, I started picking things up. I remembered one day uh I was teaching in my class, and then a kid did something. I was like, "Oots." Oots means good in their language, and they were like, they were so surprised that I was picking up on their language. Not only was I picking up on their language, but one day I got to teach them how to write Maya numbers. See, pretty cool. You guys can see this is 140. I know it looks like a seven, but this is how this kid wrote a one. That's 140. This is 250. This is 350. And then this is basically their numbers. I got to teach those numbers one day. So it was pretty cool. One day, I'm not ashamed of saying it. When I left that place, I left crying. I left with tears in my eyes because I got to value what they have. I got to value many things that we have here. I showed you guys a picture of a bathroom earlier. Here, sometimes we complain because we complain a lot. We complain, oh, the water's too hot, water's too cold. Well, just having clean water, that's a luxury. Just being able to flush your toilet, just pulling something to flush the toilet, that's a luxury. Just going over and having a fridge and opening it and finding food there, that's a luxury that not everybody runs into. Now, I let me show you guys the video that I saw. I recommend that video. The videos that inspired me to go there, I just went to Google. I went to YouTube, I mean, and typed in living under $1 a day. And then you can watch these videos. You wanted to really see what poverty means? Go check them out. Go check out these videos. There's even a video from Haiti. Let me scroll down. There's a video from Haiti. This video right here. I heard the video that I encourage you guys to do watch. These people went to Haiti after an earthquake, and you guys will be able to see those things. Like I said, it helps you appreciate what we have. It helps you see that uh, we have a lot of luxuries. I got to see over there in Guatemala, I saw people that were happy because they had half of a shoe. And what I mean with half of a shoe is the bottom, the back part where the heels go. Their toes were sticking out because they only had half a shoe, but they had something. Like I said, they appreciated it. Any little thing that they had. Sometimes the kids would bring in their food from home, a sandwich or any little thing. They were always willing to share it. Always. They were always willing to give me anything that they had. So like I said, we have way more than they do have. However, they appreciate company. They appreciate people going over and helping them out. So I don't know, something that I encourage you guys to see these videos and then post your comments on your homework.